December 1900. In the freezing waters of the North Atlantic, far from civilization, stands a lonely lighthouse on a jagged island known as Eilean Moor, a place constantly battered by violent winds, a place where waves crash like thunder, a place where only 3 men lived, watching the endless dark ocean. Their job was simple: keep the light burning, warn ships of danger, survive the isolation. But one winter, something happened inside that lighthouse, something that would leave investigators confused for more than a century. Because when help finally arrived, the men were gone. No bodies, no sign of struggle, no clear explanation, just silence, and questions that still remain unanswered. What happened to the keepers of Flannan Isles? And why does this mystery still disturb investigators today? The Flannan Isles are located off the northwest coast of Scotland, a group of small rocky islands rising from the cold Atlantic Ocean. Harsh, remote, unforgiving. For centuries, sailors feared these waters. Many ships had crashed into hidden rocks. Lives were lost, families destroyed. So in 1899, a lighthouse was built on Eilean Moor. Its purpose was simple: guide ships safely through dangerous waters. 3 lighthouse keepers were assigned at all times, 2 on duty, 1 on rest, a rotation designed to ensure the light never went out. Life on the island was not easy. There were no neighbors, no towns, no comfort, only the sound of wind and waves. For weeks, even months, the keepers saw no other humans. Isolation was part of the job, but isolation can change the mind, and sometimes, isolation hides secrets. In December 1900, 3 experienced keepers were stationed at the lighthouse: James Duckett, Thomas Marshall, Donald MacArthur. Each man had years of experience at sea. They understood danger, they understood responsibility, and they understood the importance of their duty. Everything seemed normal. The lighthouse was functioning. Supplies were stocked. Weather conditions were typical for winter. But something unusual began appearing in the logbook. Strange entries, unusual comments about the weather, mentions of powerful winds, descriptions of fear. One entry suggested the storm was unlike anything they had seen before. But historical weather records show something strange. There was no major storm reported in the area during that time. So why did the keepers describe violent conditions? What were they experiencing? On December 15, 1900, a passing ship noticed something alarming. The lighthouse light was not working. For sailors navigating dangerous waters, this was extremely serious. Without the light, ships could crash into rocks. Lives could be lost. A report was sent. But bad weather delayed any investigation. Days passed. The light remained off. Finally, on December 26th, a relief vessel arrived at the island. A replacement keeper named Joseph Moore stepped ashore. As he approached the lighthouse, something felt wrong. There were no welcoming signals, no greeting, no movement, only silence. Joseph Moore climbed the steep path toward the lighthouse. The main gate was closed, but not locked. Inside, the atmosphere felt unsettling. The kitchen showed signs of recent activity. Food remained on the table. Chairs were slightly moved. One chair was overturned. A clock had stopped. The keepers were nowhere to be found. 2 of the 3 heavy outdoor coats were missing, but 1 coat remained hanging inside. Why would an experienced keeper go outside in extreme weather without proper protection? Even more confusing, the lighthouse lamp had been cleaned and refilled, meaning someone had performed their duties shortly before disappearing. Outside, conditions were dangerous. Steep cliffs dropped sharply into the violent sea. Investigators searched every part of the island. No bodies, no footprints, no signs of struggle, nothing. It was as if the 3 men had simply vanished into the air. The final logbook entry was dated December 15th. It mentioned severe winds and a storm. One keeper wrote that another man had been unusually quiet. Another entry suggested one of the keepers had been crying. Strong emotion, fear, distress. But these men were experienced professionals, used to extreme conditions. What could have frightened them? Why did the log describe a storm that never appeared in official records? Some investigators believed the entries suggested psychological stress. Others suspected something more unusual. something unexpected. Over the years, many theories have attempted to explain the disappearance. Theory 1. A giant wave struck the island unexpectedly. One keeper may have gone outside to secure equipment. The others followed to help. All three were swept into the ocean. Theory 2. One man slipped on the wet rocks. The others attempted rescue. Strong waves pulled them into the sea. Theory 3. A sudden rogue wave hit without warning. Rogue waves are rare but extremely powerful, strong enough to pull a person into the ocean instantly. Theory 4. Psychological pressure from isolation caused unusual behavior. Living for long periods in extreme isolation can affect mental stability. Theory 5. An unknown event occurred. Something not recorded. Something never explained. Despite many theories, no confirmed answer exists. No evidence fully explains the disappearance. The Flannan Isles mystery continues to fascinate investigators because it contains all elements of a perfect mystery: isolation, strange evidence, unanswered questions, no witnesses, no bodies, no clear conclusion. More than 120 years later, the lighthouse still stands, silent, watching the same dark ocean, a reminder that some mysteries remain unsolved, perhaps forever. 3 men entered the lighthouse. Only silence remained. No explanation, no final message, just an empty building and a mystery recorded in history. Some believe the sea took them. Others believe something stranger happened. But one truth remains. No one knows what really happened on Eilean Moor. And maybe no one ever will.